Good morning, friends. This is Joy from Decor Made with Joy, coming to you from Franklin, Tennessee, and we're going to make a bow today. And the bow I want to make is to give myself a choice. I'm making a red and white small swag with these beautiful picks that came from Jam Design and Supply Company. And I'm actually going to do a video making this swag, but I don't know if I want to use one of those with a big bow down here at the bottom or no bow and add two of these. So I'm going to go ahead and make up a bow, and since I'm a visual person, I'll be able to tell more about that. But right now, this is all I have. A very simple design. I'll be adding some more things, I believe, on the side, and we'll talk about this in a separate video. So as always, first thing we do is gather our supplies. I have my wire cutters, my Knipex. I have a piece of bind wire that's about the length of my Easy Bow Maker. I have a zip tie. And I have my ribbon cutting scissors. So let's look at the ribbons I've selected. There is no actual magic to selecting ribbons for a project. I just went to my shelves and pulled off several red and white that I thought would go well with this red and white poinsettia swag that I'm making. And it may end up looking too busy. I may need something more solid, but I know I'll be able to use this bow in some sort of project. So the first ribbon I'm going to start out with is a 2.5-inch wired red and white sparkly. This came from Sam's last year or the year before. And I'm going to start out making a long tail about the length of my Easy Bow Maker. I cut dovetail ends on each each end of the bow. Let me redo this one. I kind of have to visualize which way, if you're doing a kind of chevron or a reverse chevron, and I wanted the deep chevron on this one. And so I take the tails about halfway through my Easy Bow Maker. These won't be real long tails, but they'll be nice and generous. Tilt my camera down. Okay, and then I'm going to create a small, about a 6-inch upper tail. Take that through the Easy Bow Maker and push that out through the top, okay? Bring the ribbon through the 2 dowels of your Easy Bow Maker and compress it down. Turn it away from you where the unfinished side is up. I call that bottoms up, and decide how big a loop. And remember, this is a small swag, so we don't want giant loops. And I'm going to go with let's go with 5.5-inch loops on this first ribbon. Bring it back to the center, compress it down with your thumbs, turn it away from you, bottoms up, and create a loop on the right hand side. Then I'm going to create a 5.5-inch loop here on my right hand side. And the good thing about the Easy Bow Maker, it holds your ribbon. There's nothing magic about it. I make hand bows as well as the Easy Bow Maker, but it has a ruler on the side, and so I can easily pick out what my 5.5-inch loop is going to be. Okay, and so far I have 5 different ribbons picked out, so I am going to only do one loop of that on each side. I'm going to cut this off. Then we're going to go in with our red sparkly plain ribbon. Drop that down in my basket. Come up, create a dovetail. 6-inch upper tail. Pull it up through the dowels and then pull it up toward the top. Turn it away from me. Make your loop. Decide what size, and we're going to keep this one 5.5-inch loop. Bring it back through the center. Compress it down with your fingers or thumbs. For the right hand side, turn it away from me, bottoms up. Create another 5.5-inch loop. Okay, bring it back, compress it down. And since this is only 1.5-inch ribbon, let's go ahead and make 2 loops on each side. Another 5.5-inch loop. So we're going to continue filming despite the camera falling on the floor, and create my second 5.5-inch loop on my right hand side. If you get it a little bit too long like I did here, just pull it back towards yourself and get the right length. Okay, cut off a dovetail, and we may cut these off a little bit more later. You can always cut off more, but you can't add back. So there is that. All right, let's see what ribbon I want to go in with next. Let's go in with this Designer's Excellence. It's kind of a thick ribbon that has a decent wire in it, and it has the snow edges on it. So we'll drop that down in our basket. We will create a 6-inch upper loop, and I'll just keep that one a reverse dovetail, and bring it back through the dowels, compress it down, turn it away from me with the bottom side up. Back through the middle, compress it down, thick ribbon there. Turn it away from me. Create a 5.5-inch loop on the right. And cut off your end into a dovetail. Next ribbon is going to be this RG red and white stripe. Create an upper tail, bring it through the middle of the dowels, turn it away from me. Create a loop, and I want to go with a smaller loop of this one, and I'm going to make this one. Those are all 5.5-inch. Let's make this a 4.5-inch loop. Press it down, compress it down with your thumbs, turn it away from me with the bottoms up. 4.5-inch loop on this side. And let's go ahead and make a second one of those on the left side. Compress it down, come back through the right side, turn it away from me, bottoms up. 4.5-inch loop on this side. And we'll just do a knife edge on that, or an angled edge, however you want to violet. And then my last ribbon is going to be this sparkly red and white plaid. Create a small upper tail, bring it back through center, compress it down, turn it away from me. 4.5 inch loop on the left, turn it away from me. 4.5 inch loop on the right. And bring it down. And we'll do another angled edge on that, or a knife edge. Okay, now I'm going to take my bind wire and slide it underneath all my ribbons to the right hand side of the dowels. This is what we're going to use to attach it to the swag or the wreath or whatever you're going to attach it to. Make sure that bind wire is about halfway up underneath all your ribbons. Compress your ribbon package down, and next we're going to go in with our zip tie. The zip tie is going to go under the bind wire and under the ribbon, and I can slide it up just a little bit to get that correct. And I'm going to just barely cinch that ribbon until I spread out my loops. You see how I did that? Just barely started cinching it. Okay, next I'm going to go in and start spreading my loops out. So on the ones where you did a single loop, one side, this left side goes down, the right side loop goes up. Then our next ribbon is the sparkle, and we have 2 loops of it on each side, so one down and one up. One up and one down. And then we have our thick snow edged, and it's 1 loop, so we're going to go up on one side, down on the other. And then we have our stripe, which we have 2 loops on each side. Just spread those out, one down, one up. And then we have our plaid that's will kind of be there in the middle. Now we're going to slide our whole ribbon package out and up. And you notice the zip tie is not in the center at this point, so we're going to inch it up till it is in the center, and make sure we captured our bind wire. And then we're going to pull the lock to the back, press down with our thumbs, and cinch that zip tie really tight. Pull it as tight as you can. Clip off the excess. Pull the bind wire around back, and I just like to lock it in there around the zip tie, and then you have something to attach to your project. And then from there, all we're going to do is fluff, 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 fluff. Take our fingers and spread all these loops out, and we'll do that even more once we get it on our swag or our wreath or our project. Fluffing is the name of the game with bows and ribbons, isn't it? So you get the idea there. Look how pretty that is. I just love red and white. And next I'll hold up the project and we'll take a look at it. So if I decide to go with one pick, These picks from Jam Design are about $25 before your Candy Crew discount. They're about $16 without it. This is a white 20-inch swag base from Craft Outlet. It's about $5.95. And so you have kind of an inexpensive, like for a craft fair, an inexpensive swag to sell that's a little over 20 inches in length. It's real bright. Be so pretty on a front door, and you could make these very fast, and if you need a lot of things for your craft fair. So there you have it. There's our bow for today. Not sure I'm using it on this project, but I have it for a project, whatever I decide. You all take care, and hope you have a good week. Take care.